People have other problems. That's why I personally don't even watch the news anymore, because you don't even know what channel to really tune into and who's right and who's wrong, and people are fed up. I don't even think people even believe the mainstream media. People are now going to different outlets like YouTube, podcasts to get their information.
Do you think you would be happy owning nothing?
That's craziness. Who would think that ideology? People come to America to for a piece of ownership, a home ownership, for the freedom to own things. There's other countries, the American dream. There are other countries that practically they have that ideology and it doesn't work. That's like communist. That's like no socialism.
We are in Naples, Florida, and we thought we'd go downtown to Fifth Avenue and ask some people some questions. What does America mean to you? Have you ever heard of Klaus Schwab, the Great Reset, the Fourth Industrial Revolution? How would you feel owning nothing? Would that make you happy? Here's how one of those interviews went. We just celebrated the 4th of July. What does living in America mean to you?
Oh, it means, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of everything. It's America,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. There's a lot of people trying to take our rights away. We're not really here to talk about politics or anything like that. But what do you think about people who want to whittle away at American rights, like taking away the right of freedom of speech or right to keep and bear arms or whatever?
Yeah, no. You have to fight against that because that's what America was built on.
Do you live here in Florida?
Absolutely.
Because I'm from Oklahoma, so it's kind of a little bit of different flavor, although there are a lot of similarities. Like it seems like people are more freedom-minded here than, say, in California.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, not to get into too much of the politics side, but Florida, past 2 years has been a beacon. People have actually come to Florida because of that, because of the protection of rights, and people want to be free and people want to do things, and COVID has caused a lot of chaos in other states. And why do you think it is that there wasn't as much chaos with the COVID thing in this state as there was in California or New York? Oh, the people in power, like the governor, absolutely. He's done a fantastic job here in Florida.
In what way? That's Ron DeSantis, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, all these regulations and all these restrictions, kind of like going against, I get it. There's the safety side. Everyone wants to be safe, and the whole COVID was a lot of how would I put it? Just a lot of uncertainty and
Fear.
But yeah, a lot of fear.
Yeah.
A lot of fear. But I mean, we've overcome that, and Florida's been a place for a lot of people to come here because of that.
And it almost seems like to me, from looking at it from an Oklahoma perspective, that the way Florida went at it, people were less sick, and people were less afraid, and there seemed like there was more freedom, and people were more. I don't know.
I always say the solution can be worse than the problem. You know what I mean? You can't fight fear with fear. You just have to tackle it, and that's what Florida did, Yeah. There was a lot of uncertainty, a lot of people backed down, and a lot of Floridians said, no, we're just gonna, drive through it,
I don't know if you read, but the LA Times just recently reported that like in the next 2 weeks, they're going to be instituting lockdowns and mask mandates again. Do you see that coming?
What reason?
For the new strain? They're calling it the Ninja variant. Have you heard of BA5 and BA4?
I mean, at this point, I don't know what I'm. Maybe there is something to back that claim up, but I mean, it's not going to do anyone any good in terms of the economy, the businesses, the way of living. It's going to affect people psychologically. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think that's going to happen here in Florida.
No. I don't think so.
Or people were not allowed that here.
I hope you're right, because that's what it really comes down to. It's beyond the governor. It's the people can't allow that, because mainstream media is constantly lying to us. They're constantly selling us a bill of goods. They're trying to enrich the big pharma industrial complex, scare the little guy into closing our businesses when there may not even be anything to be afraid of.
And people are fed up with that. People have other problems. That's why I personally don't even watch the news anymore, because you don't even know what channel to really tune into and who's right and who's wrong, and it's I don't know. People are fed up. I don't even think people even believe the mainstream media. People are now going to different outlets like YouTube, podcasts to get their information.
Because CNN is the most trusted name in fake news, right?
Absolutely, I'll agree with you on that.
One more real quick thing. The press secretary was asked. Well, actually, I think it was there was somebody who asked the press secretary that the increase in the food prices and the fuel prices is really affecting Americans, and asked one person asked Joe Biden, how long do you think it's going to take for to back off on the prices? He said, as long as it takes to get us through the Ukraine war. What do you think about that? Are you more than willing to pay elevated prices to help Ukraine, or what?
I mean, that's a touchy one. I don't know. I don't know anything about foreign policy, but all I can say, like, help our allies, but not at the cost of our living, and it's got to be a balance.
Yeah.
Be able to help Ukraine fight their war, but at the same time not affect us home, because the cost of everything is going up, inflation, and then the Fed is rates. They're increasing the rates, and I don't know. I really don't know.
You know what? Since you mentioned the Fed, because a lot of people, I'm assuming that a lot of Americans don't even know about the Federal Reserve. They don't know what it's all about. They don't know about the IMF. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard of the Great Reset?
Oh yeah, that was in 2008, right? You talking about the Great Recession? Or?
No, the Great Reset. It's called the Great Reset or the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Klaus Schwab, World Economic Forum.
No, I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar.
Yeah, check it out, because it's like technocrats, elite technocrats, trying to control and chip away at the individual rights and blur national borders and lines, basically taking away national sovereignty. One of the things that they say on the World Economic Forum site, where all these billionaires go and have conferences, is that Americans will own nothing and be happy. Do you think you would be happy owning nothing?
That's craziness. Who would think that ideology? People come to America for a piece of ownership, a home ownership, for the freedom to own things. There's other countries, the American dream. There are other countries that practically they have that ideology and it doesn't work. That's like communist. That's like socialism.
Yep, that's exactly what
Yeah, that kills capitalism. That kills the motivation to strive to start a business, to create jobs. It does, because
to be better, to create.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that ideology. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Hey, thank
Hey,
you.
I really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem.